It is now my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for this evening. Ms. Nicôle Layne graduated from the University of the West Indies Cayville campus in 2001, having attained a Bachelor of Science degree in Computer Science and Mathematics with honors. She moved to London and immediately pursued a Master's of Science degree in Computer Networks and Distributed Computing from the University of Westminster, Harrow campus, and graduated in 2002. For the past 17 years, Nicôle worked extensively in the technology field, diversifying across industries such as maritime, telecommunications, and insurance. She has undertaken various senior positions throughout the United Kingdom and Barbados, where she has provided leadership for the continued development of innovative, robust, and secure technology solutions. Although she is still very youthful at heart, she is a force to be reckoned with. She meets challenges head-on and demands excellence. She has an appetite for knowledge and the progressive impact technology has on society and business. She is inspired by Maya Angelou, who once said, "My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with passion and compassion, some humor and some style." Please help me make welcome Miss Nicôle Layne.
Chairman of the Campus Council, Sir Paul Altman, Professor Clive Landis, Deputy Principal, Campus Registrar, Dr. Kenneth Walters, Ms. Lisa Aline, Campus Bursar, Deans of the various faculties, Director for Graduate Studies, Professor Winston Moore, Her Excellency Dame Billy Miller, President Designate of the Students Guild, Ms. Thatcher Lutin, other distinguished guests, donors, awardees, members of the campus community, members of the media, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm extremely honored and humbled to be allowed to address you this evening and share part of my journey with you. I was always a stubborn child, but had a way of finding creative solutions to problems. Let me take you back to Common Entrance year, which I vividly recall because of two impactful events. One Sunday afternoon, because I was never one to sit still, I was skating in the backyard and fell on my right forearm, breaking both bones. It was set in a cast, x-rayed, adjusted, and recasted 3 times before the doctors got the bones aligned. Then, after some weeks when the swelling had gone down, the bones moved, so it had to be broken over again in surgery and steel put in. By this time, because I was right-handed, I started to miss written tests and overheard teachers discussing keeping me back a year until my hand had healed. That evening, I picked up a pencil in my left hand and started forming letters. Soon enough, I was able to write legibly and fast enough to do tests without extra time. Thank you. Nearing the exam, my hand had healed, and it was time for my parents to populate the choices of schools. This was before zoning and many other factors that exist today. I wanted to have Queen's College as my first choice, as it was a new building, and that's where most of my friends were planning on going. But my dad was adamant that Harrison College was the top school, and therefore it was going down first. I also did not want to go to Commonwealth, the third choice, as that was my sister's school, and I wanted to be different. As my pleas fell on deaf ears, I conceded and secretly devised an alternate plan to get me to QC. The day of the exam, I completed all the questions, but before I submitted my papers each time, I changed what I had thought was just enough to put my score between Harrison College and Commonwealth. True story. I anxiously awaited the results, and when they came in, I don't think the teachers ever saw a child so upset that they had passed for their first choice. I was inconsolable. Nevertheless, I soon got over it and enjoyed my time at secondary school. When I started UWI in 1998, I quickly realized that it did not matter which secondary school you went to, how old you were, which country you were from, number of CXCs or A-levels. Everyone was on a level playing field, and it was entirely up to you what you made of your time at the university. I must thank my parents for their support of my academics and extracurricular activities at UWI. I still have my most goal scores football trophy at home and fond memories of life skills learned on the field. They never pressured me, but my dad was always there to give me an extra push. I recall that there was a discrete maths course in computer science that took many casualties and even caused some persons to switch majors. I, however, understood the concepts quickly, and in one of the first tests, I got 97%, highest score in the class, so I was elated. I brought the paper home with all my pride and showed my dad, to which he asked, what happened to the other 3%? I was initially upset at his response, but that moment stuck with me, as I learned that you should always strive for excellence and never use others as your benchmark. With that in mind, I extend a warm congratulations to the students being honored here today, as it's a reflection of the hard work you have put in, and it's great to see you rewarded for your achievement. These awards also hold a very special place for me, as during my time here at Cave Hill, I kept a high enough GPA to receive academic bursaries and was awarded the Chefette Restaurant Scholarship, even though I was vegetarian at the time. That funding helped me immediately pursue my master's degree in computer networks and distributed computing in London, United Kingdom. In one of the first classes, I looked around and saw that there were just over 30 persons in the room, and I was one of 3 females. I was getting accustomed to this ratio in my chosen field of study, and although I was not easily intimidated, I still had to deal with gender bias, exclusions, and unfair assumptions. The lecturer asked who knew what a network interface card looked like, and I thought to myself, why would he ask such a silly question? The course is computer networks, after all. Then, less than 10 persons raised their hand, and the lecturer had this look on his face like, yep, most of you are not going to make it. You see, a lot of undergraduate programs were theory-based and focused heavily on memorization and regurgitation. So when it came to the practical side of things, they were lost. Information was very limited in those times, with Google and high-speed internet now starting to take off. Although the course was very challenging, in a year's time, I was the sole female and one of only 6 persons to successfully make it to the end and attain the MSc in Computer Networks and Distributed Computing. Feeling on top of the world, I applied for a working holiday visa so that I can live in the UK and get some international experience. I thought that I would be well on my way in no time. I stayed with family friends in London, sent out applications daily, hand-delivered, email, posted, but the feedback was all the same. You have no relative work experience. Again, too many employers had seen qualified, inexperienced persons come out of higher education institutions into their organization, but still struggle with the practical application of their skills, so they were less willing to take a chance. At the very least, I needed to cover my expenses, so I signed up with a tutoring agency. On evenings, I traveled by bus and train, often in the cold, to students' home and gave math and English lessons to children of varying ages and competencies, while using my days to scour the internet and notice board for technology-based jobs. After a few more unsuccessful and very frustrating weeks job hunting, I decided to approach some organizations about volunteering so I can get some real exposure, use my skills to assist others, and possibly strengthen my curriculum vitae. I received some negative feedback from my peers, as they just saw it as working for free. But I would soon learn that it was one of the best decisions I had made. Although some of my voluntary jobs were short and not directly related to information technology, I picked up some invaluable soft skills and was able to have a better appreciation of diverse and multicultural working environments. A short while after, through helping a friend with an issue on her PC, I landed a meeting with the IT manager at the Greenwich Museum. The first thing, he let me know that there were no vacancies. But after talking openly with him about my goals and what I was hoping to achieve by volunteering, he saw my determination and allowed me to work alongside his team. As time went by, I got more involved in tasks, and they offered me an internship with the IT department. My level of the access to the systems increased, so did my confidence levels. Through observation, I realized it was taking an entire day to set up a new computer for a user, and there was a base set of applications each user had to have. I asked the systems administrator if he ever tried using imaging tools to cut down on the implementation time, but I was quickly dismissed, with him telling me that there's nothing wrong with the way they do things. More time went by, but this inefficiency was weighing on me, so I approached him again, unsuccessfully, and from talking to colleagues who knew the individual, realized that he was a creature of habit and not about to consider a change regardless of the benefits. I sat on the idea for a few more days and mustered up the courage to propose my suggestion to the manager. To my surprise, he welcomed the initiative and allowed me to trial it with the next setup. When we configured the next computer, the processing time went from 1 day to under 2 hours, and with each iteration, the time shortened. I learned some valuable lessons that day that have stayed with me throughout my career in UK and Barbados. 1, never be afraid to speak up. Someone may listen. 2, some people will resist change, but change is the only constant in life. I want you to remember these tidbits as you continue to see initiatives come on stream with the Smart Campus in support of student excellence. Universities are often challenged to meet growing demands of relevance while facing a funding squeeze. Students and employers today expect different things from higher education than they did a generation or two ago. To this end, technology can and has already started to play a significant role in the continuous improvement and ongoing transformation of this university. Technology can further expand the boundaries of the classroom, taking the lesson to a more practical scenario where students can interact with a topic instead of just reading about it. We can also be more focused on employment readiness and use technology as a catalyst for that strategy. Gone are the days of the one-size-fits-all teaching model. It must be supplemented by adaptive and personalized learning and pedagogical methods to ensure the academic potential, aptitude, and learning pace of every student is catered to. We must also realize potential areas of efficiencies, such as linking the students and administrative systems, automating repetitive tasks, and collaborating with like-minded entities so that increasingly complex challenges could be addressed. Imagine using predictive analytics to receive suggestions on which courses may be best suited to a student based on historical data, thus maximizing their odds of doing well in their major. What about using bean counters and swipe card data to shed light and feedback to a web portal the busiest times for the library so that students can plan their visits? I know that much has been accomplished, but the future possibilities are endless. To be truly successful, however, we all must get involved, speak up, do research, and offer suggestions on how we can achieve the AAA strategic plan to promote access, alignment, and agility. We must use technology as a catalyst for promoting a culture of innovation in a more widespread, cost-effective manner as we continue to strive for excellence and nurture entrepreneurship among both students and faculty. Remember, nothing will work unless you do. Thank you.
Chairman of Campus Council, Sir Paul Altman, Pro Vice Chancellor, Board for Undergraduate Studies, Professor Alan Cobley, Professor Clive Landis, Deputy Principal, Campus Registrar, Mr. Kenneth Walters, Ms. Lisa Aline, Campus Bursar, Deans of the various faculties, our guest speaker for this evening's proceedings, Ms. Nicole Layne, Director for Graduate Studies and Research, Professor Winston Moore, President of the Guild of Students, Mr. Christian Atong, Ms. Thatcher Loughton, President-elect of the Guild of Students, other distinguished guests, donors, awardees, members of the campus community, members of the media, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my distinct pleasure to move the vote of thanks at this, our 16th annual Student Awards ceremony, under the theme, The Smart Campus in Support of Student Excellence. First, let me express sincere gratitude to the guest speaker, Ms. Nicôle Layne, for her insightful and inspiring address. Tonight, you reminded us of the importance of perseverance as you described your own experience where you trained yourself to write eligibly and take tests fast, where you could even decipher which school you wanted to go to. Your message that we must always strive for excellence and never use others as our benchmark, I believe, has resonated with us all. Finally, for reminding us to consider, to never be afraid to speak up, and that change is the only constant in life, especially as we look towards becoming the smart campus in support of student excellence. For that, we thank you. I would also like to thank the President-elect of the Guild of Students, Ms. Thatcher Loughton. Thank you for so ably delivering the welcome remarks. Thank you for the key reminder that in order to succeed successfully as a smart campus, there is a shared responsibility among the university, students, faculty, staff, administration, and government. This indeed will continue to propel the Cave campus to be an excellent university globally rooted in the Caribbean. Professor Clive Landis, Deputy Principal, for bringing remarks on behalf of our Principal and Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Udine Bartu. Thank you for highlighting the sheer excellence that exists here at the Cave Hill campus, and for reiterating the quote from Professor Rex Netterford, who said that the university is the Caribbean's greatest gift to itself. We also thank the chairman of the Campus Council, Sir Paul Altman, for his kind remarks, for expressing gratitude to and reminding the donors of the significant role they play in the continued excellence displayed by the students of the University of the West Indies, Cave Hill campus. For that, we say thanks. To all corporate and individual donors and sponsors, we express the highest gratitude as you assist us with realizing our highest potential. Because you saw it fit to invest in our educational pursuits, we can move ahead to one day serve and invest in others to come. To the Master of Ceremonies, Ms. Shalane St. Hill, and citation readers, Ms. Chelsea Jordan, Mr. Jason Jameson, Ms. Renee Plenty, and Mr. Dennis McCall Jr., thank you. Next, to our talented entertainers, Ms. Julian Charles, Mr. Nathan Husbands, and Ms. Okira Najuma Hill. We extend a heartfelt thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we wish to invite you to the graduation tent for some refreshments. Please stand and kindly allow the academic procession to leave first. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Morgan Kellier. Thank you and good night.